It's America. So turn it up, and T-Jams and Nurse Net on the other side. Here we go.
Driving down the street today, saw a sign for lemonade. They were the cutest kids I'd ever seen in that front yard. As they handed me my glass, I smiled thinking to myself, man, what a picture perfect postcard this would make of America. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a ride in a Chevrolet. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. Later on when I got home, I flipped the TV on. Saw a little town that some big twister tore apart. People came from miles around just to help their neighbors out. And I was thinking to myself, I'm so glad that I live in America. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a ride in a Chevrolet. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. Now we don't always get it all right, but there's no place else I'd rather build my life. It's a kid with a chance, it's a rock and roll band, it's a farmer cutting hay. It's a big flag flying in the summer wind over a fallen hero's grave. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a welcome home parade. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. It's America. Hey, yeah, yeah. It's America. It's America.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And TJ, you're looking good. You're looking really sharp there today.
Oh, you're so kind. It's just good times. It's a song, you know. And I wish Annette would just learn to mute her mic. Gosh. Never mind.
Oh, you know, a little background chatter is never a problem.
Little chatter. Yeah, I was belting out America. Yeah, oops.
It's a hard song not to sing to. Or I'm surprised you didn't hear me humming to it. I'm sitting here typing out to everybody in the chat going, hey, have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Blah, 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 you know. And humming along.
It's why I'm glad I don't have video on. You know, you guys might see me in chat and Zoom on the video. Doing my chair dance to that one.
All right.
You know,
thank you, everyone. You guys have an awesome, awesome weekend. And we did manage to sort of get through all of the Q posts, maybe kind of, sort of, but
great, because we have so much to do. So
there were so many of them yesterday. There was a ton of them.
Absolutely. It's been really cool. So,
yeah. All right. God bless. Thank you, everyone.
Take some time. Have a great day. You too, Miss Chris. Go do something for yourself before you have to come back. She works hard. Everybody works hard around here. So glad you guys are loving the song, in a good mood. We're going to try and keep that. We won't go too dark, too bad, keep it happy, keep it positive, because our president is positive. We saw his little presser there, and it looked good. Most of what I caught was really good. Always, he's a positive person, and so are we. So we will play our introduction, and we'll be back with lots of good stuff for you. See you in a few minutes.
Good morning, afternoon, evening around the world, Patriots.
It's top of the hour.
You're listening to We the People, Patriot Soapbox, 24/7 live stream.
Q Storm coverage 24 hours a day on YouTube.
We are researching topics of Q Intel information, the storm, and related news. You can find Q Intel at qanon.pub.
Below the YouTube video, you will find links to more sites of interest. Our live stream is a research think tank group, and some topics discussed may be disturbing or sensitive to many viewers. The content discussed and researched on this server is for entertainment, research, and information archiving purposes only.
The views expressed by those you hear speaking and see typing on this live stream belong only to those espousing them. None speaks for any other. Each person speaks for himself or herself. No individual speaks for We the People, Patriot Soapbox.
Please continue to expand your knowledge by researching the topics we discuss. Don't just take our word for it. The Anons of this live stream wish to address anyone associated with the QAnon movement in any capacity via any media or medium, and hereby state:
We do not approve of any form of vigilante justice. Violence and passing judgment are not in any way part of this platform.
We denounce all forms of violence, fraud, and bullying under any and all circumstances.
As patriots, we seek freedom, justice, transparency, and spread truth as a voice for those that cannot or will not speak for themselves.
We want to thank everyone for listening and participating in our live stream chats, and then in the Discord, social media, and chants.
We also want to remind YouTube and Gab Patriot Chat, if you have a question, please use 3 question marks at the beginning of your question so that we can easily spot it. If you have breaking news, please name the source.
And if you notice a new Q post, please give us the number and date.
We give a shout out to our mods in live chat and thank them for all the volunteer hours they contribute to help this channel thrive.
And a shout out to each of you, our listeners and subscribers participating in the chat. For all the contributions you bring this channel, we simply could not do this without all of you.
We are grateful for your donations.
And you may make donations from the links in our forums. Thank you for your support.
Finally, we want to recognize all who have served honorably and in any capacity for freedom and service to others.
God bless everyone.
Welcome back, General Flynn.
Get fired up! I mean, there's no enemy that's unbeatable. You do not want to be predictable as to what you're going to do. This is warfare. Lock her up. That's right. Lock her up. The advantage in life, in business, and in wartime goes to the competitor that does not flinch and does not broadcast his game plan. I'm here tonight as a determined American who loves our country, and my message to you is very clear. Wake up, America. On this day, we start the beginning of a new American century, a time when we turn our heads forward with persistent and relentless focus on protecting our communities, our families, and our country. with our feet firmly planted on the ground and by holding individuals accountable for their actions.
Does he have the temperament to be commander-in-chief?
Yeah, no doubt. But I think the American people are much, much smarter than you know. We should clearly define our enemies, face them head on, and then defeat those that seek to threaten our country and our way of life. If we lose freedom here, there is no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
Thank you. Stay with me. Thank you, please.
Sorry, that defaults to go there. Do this and we'll be right with you. All right.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank goodness. You're not kidding. If I'd stop trying to talk to everybody and keep my eye on the screen, we'd be doing so good. But you know, you guys, it's hard.
A long week. I just saw somebody in chat saying, I have so much yard work to do, and here I sit. And it's like, yep, I hear you.
You know, you take it outside, get this, I don't know, they've probably gone down in price. Block rocker. I've had mine for several years. They even communicate with each other if you get the, Bluetooth kind. And you can hear the show. You can hear it down the road. The neighbors can hear it.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. So I always take my vlog rocker outside when I want to hear. Maybe I won't see everything, but at least I can kind of keep up with what everybody's doing. And usually I find out what I missed. Generally, that's really what I find out. It's like, oh, you got to go back and watch that now. You got to, because, whatever kicks your ear. Which, for instance, I noticed Child of the King is out there talking about a lottery for tickets to go to Mount Rushmore on July 4th. The president will be there.
Oh,
that sounds
awesome.
Amazing. So I'll keep putting that out there.
Sends us a little message too. She says it's good to see us both, and she loves us.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
We love you too. We love everybody in chat. Got the best live chat around.
Giant hearts. It's amazing. Makes y'all warm and fuzzy and hard to keep all edgy and on your toes. But it's a good.
So where do you want to go today, Miss TJ?
So much.
It looks like a few posts were covered on the previous show.
I'm actually grateful.
Yeah, I'm grateful too. I guess it was just a couple of things that they weren't able to see last show, and one was the video of the last Q drop, and there was also something that the president had wanted us all to read, and I thought maybe we could check on maybe those two things so everybody can see it. Maybe we can get them to play and maybe bring that one Q post up. Well,
the Harlan one is I can pull it up. I've got Dan Scavino. For some reason, it of course, the minute I go to share it, it'll act all funky.
No, he played Dan Scavino.
I thought that's the one that wouldn't work for
the
me.
Lightning one wouldn't play. And then there was another one that was with a white background written in black type that Bumper didn't have a chance to bring up and share. He just told everybody to read it.
Well, no problem. We can always go there. That's what we got to do. And I will do your, I've got a word for you. We'll probably do that at the end today because it's so important. I want you guys to hang around and to expect it and catch it. It really almost hit on it with General Flynn's message there. The voices to listen to and how important they are. It comes straight out of Proverbs 1. I'll give you a real big hint. It comes out of Proverbs 1 for wisdom, because that is the focus for me today on this fun, freaky, fabulous Friday. So I will start with a cue drop. You're saying, because of course I'm getting my backdrop, I'm getting my water. I'm not quite sure where they stopped. You're saying it's one of these two.
No,
4421?
a little further. Keep going, dear. All right, that video right there of the lightning. Let's see if we can get that to play for them.
That's the one I was talking about.
Oh, Bongino.
Did I say Bongino?
Yes, you did.
Sorry. Scavino, the other Italian guy. Oy vey. Okay. This is really cool. And I think they mean what they're freaking because it makes a cue, kind of.
Yes, that is pretty. I mean, what are the chances?
I know. It reminds me of the verse, and the God of glory thunders. Let's see if it's got a thunder noise to it. Be careful. Freaky Friday, sunny days. Hey, girl, we miss you. She's going to be joining us next week, I hope.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I may not be joining us, but she'll be joining us. We'll see how that works out. You know what? I don't hear anything behind it. It would be kind of cool to hear.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that is really amazing.
Awesome. And that's only one day. I'm sorry, sunny days. I don't want to scare you. So anyhow, we just love her. She's a sweetheart and want to see her face and hear her voice. Or see her picture and hear her voice. Whatever. We'll take it.
Yeah. If you want to hop in sunny days and you got time, come on in.
Yeah. She likes being a fill-in person. She's so sweet.
We like having company here. So the more the merrier.
I believe
so. That was interesting. Okay. And then the last thing was there was a Q post that well, I'll just have to see it to let you know which one it is because I remember what it looks like. It's scrolling down further. It's a big text written piece. We'll probably have to blow it up.
Okay. Are you saying he went? Because I thought he came from the bottom up. Are you saying it's below this one?
It's below. Yes, it's below. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. It's past the flag. Maybe a little further. Maybe no, they covered that. Maybe it was a link that he clicked on. The president did say, make sure you read this. It was in the Q post. It says be sure to read this, and it was a white box with black writing, but I don't see it now.
So it was one of those letters that came through.
Yeah,
I might have that in my Twitter feed. Let me see if anybody's given it to us in the chat. They probably catch on faster than I do. Let's see.
Yeah, they might remember if they're still here from the previous show. Oh, it was a POTUS tweet, they said. Okay, thank you, Chrissy. It was a POTUS tweet.
Okay. Then you guys saw the protest coming. They say 1 million. Whatever.
You know, I doubt there's going to be 1 million. And if there are, I'm hoping and praying that the people that have a right mind stay home, and let's just hope it's all people that are like-minded and they could fight amongst themselves. That's what I'm hoping and praying for.
Yeah, we got a lot of little insights into these protesters. I mean, it seems like everybody has something, but, just use our discernment and keep going, right?
Yep.
Oh, I did that. There he is. I clicked the wrong thing. All right. He's up to 81.8 million.
Wow.
It's good. Should be. I'll get rid of Google Docs too.
I was talking to Erin the other day, and she had brought up an old Q post. I forget the number of it. But, 1 million people there sounds like a lot. But according to a Q post that was written 2 years ago, there are only 4 to 6% of the people that just will not get it, that will not understand. So when you think 1 million people, don't freak out and think, things are going bad. Like Prayer Warrior says, if the president doesn't seem to be worried, we shouldn't be either. And just keep that 4 to 6% in your mind of folks that just will never get it.
Well, they probably never have. They haven't been even involved in what's the workings of the world and don't understand a lot of the other processes either. So, yeah, God give us discernment to know what to bother with and what not to.
Right.
So,
okay, I think it's a little further down where this little Q post is, unless you want to go over all of the ones today. I mean, Trump tweets.
Well, we can start with it if you don't think it's too far. We always come over here.
See, that's just it. I don't recall. It was towards the end of the show, and I'm really not sure where Thumper had grabbed that from.
Yes, we will rejoice when we see your praise report. Bless you, Spirit Francis. We definitely keep Emily in our mind.
Free Spirit says, I must know all the 4 to 6% that don't get it. Uh-oh. Free Spirit, go out there and change some minds. You go. Good luck with that 4 to 6%.
Well, so I said Bongino. I slipped probably because that's the last thing I remember seeing Thumper showing. So was it in reference to Mattis or the military?
He didn't read it at all, so I have no idea what the contents of it was, but the president said, make sure you read this.
Guys, if you haven't the idea, if you really know what it is, let us know, because
right.
You'd think it was his. Somebody said it was a tweet. It wasn't him just during his presser and just pointing to something. You actually visually saw this, obviously.
Right, right.
There's something.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. No, not so much. It was like a paragraph, a small paragraph. It didn't look very, lengthy. We might not find it.
It would say, read this, huh?
Yeah.
That's what somebody just posted.
Yep. Before I had a chance to type to Thumper to say, go ahead and read it, he was on to something else because you hadn't, you weren't in the room yet. And I was like, oh, I wish I would have known what that said, And I'm sure that, nobody else knows what it said either. So I thought it would be something good to go over, but not seeing it.
Well, it's always good to go over if he did it. I'll look under his media if he uploaded something or they uploaded something. I don't think it's going to be here.
It just disappeared just like that.
That's what I thought. The military mutiny is what the last thing I remember him talking about was that with Dan Bongino. So is there a letter from John Dowd? Was a tweet 18 hours ago, Ari, letter from John Dowd. Maybe it was a retweet.
Could possibly have been. I don't know.
Of course, it's everyone except the one I didn't click.
The Bongino one was a video, and Thumper did.
Yes, I've definitely seen that, and I've seen the letter too. Actually, just seen a few things today. The last 6 hours.
Is saying Q dropped a retired Marine letter. It didn't look like a letter to me though. What I saw.
Hey, I've got it ready here. I think I got to one.
Thank God.
Hey.
All right. If you want to drop your screen, I'll put it up and you guys can go through it.
Great. Thank you. Again, we're saved by Thumper.
Oh,
well, thankfully he's listening. See what I mean? He's got his block rocker on, right?
All right. This is the one you're talking about.
There it is.
And let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger for you. Okay. Now you get to read it.
Awesome. I'll go for it. Here we go. It is Jim. John Dowd writing to Jim. I slept on your statement and woke up appalled and upset. You lost me. Never dreamed you would let a bunch of hack politicians use your good name and reputation earned with the blood and guts of young Marines. You did what you said you would. Engage in this discourse. Marines keep their word. The phony protesters near Lafayette Park were not peaceful and are not real. They are terrorists using idle, hate-filled students to burn and destroy. They were abusing and disrespecting the police when the police were preparing the area for the 1900 curfew, 7 p.m. Jim, this is the new nihilism. See Dan Henninger in the Wall Street Journal today. Marines support the police in harm's way. Did you forget that President Bush used active duty Marines to quell the riots in Los Angeles? President Trump has countless cities and some snowflake governors and mayors wetting themselves in the use of force to protect innocent lives and property. The AG of Massachusetts thinks burning property is a good protest. 3 more policemen were stabbed and shot in New York City last night. Think about it. Should he be upset about the obvious failure of leadership? Where are you, Jim? Marines go into fight. They go to the fight. No one divided this country more than Obama. He abandoned our black brothers and sisters. He gave guns to the cartels. He apologized for our precious sacrifice and generosity overseas. You remember, he fired you. Now I get who he's writing to. President Trump has done more to help our minority brothers and sisters in these years than anyone in the last 50. and the black pastors. Ask the black pastors. Ask the leaders of the black colleges and universities. He got them funded. Ask them about the prison reform, which ended the draconian sentences imposed on black men by the laws enacted by Biden and his hacks. You need to bone up on your homework and stop listening to Uncle Leon. I understand you had to stick to the assigned narrative, which did not include these years of corrupt investigations and evidence to destroy the president, his office, and his lawful free election. Nancy has no tolerance for dissent in the ranks, including those with stars. You said nothing of the ugly, hate-filled, disgraceful comments of Pelosi, Schumer, Perez, and other Democrat heads defaming the president and his office. You said nothing of the unlawful sanctuary cities and the unlawful release of hoodlums. You said nothing of the resistance movement to paralyze our courts and our government operations. You said nothing of the obstruction and subversion of our immigration laws. You said nothing of MS-13 killers and the drug cartels who own huge sections of our major cities. Jim, do you think the hateful rhetoric and those corrupt actions were inspiring and unifying? Do you think the D's at Paris Island would find such behaviors unifying? Why did it take President Trump to have the instinct and the balls to take him out? Of course, over the objection, the geniuses of the geniuses in the Pentagon. Oops, I skipped it. Maybe your problem, though, is a lot deeper. Perhaps you ought to explain how and why you and John Allen, as CG and Central Command, did not engage and take out Iranian Major General Soleimani, who roamed the Middle East and wreaked havoc and death of our American boys with his infamous IEDs. So why did it take President Trump to have the instincts and the balls to take him out? Of course, over the objections of the geniuses in the Pentagon. Looks like the Persian mullahs were a one-horse sleigh, and Trump nailed the horse forever. It's been quiet ever since. Perhaps your anger is a bone of embarrassment to your own failure as the leader of Central Command. Did you applaud when the president recognized the central problem in the Middle East? Did you applaud the president when he wanted to save American lives by bringing them home in one piece? John Dowd to General Mattis.
Now, that is something to grab a screenshot of, folks. Get that out on Twitter. Get that out on Facebook. Post it in all the groups that you belong to. And let this rip. This is pretty damning. And everybody needs to know about it. And who knows, it might even turn the 4 to 6% into maybe 2 to 4%. But this is a pretty damning letter.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know why we couldn't find it, but thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Thumper. Thank you so much. Get this out there. Everywhere you can. Cloud Hub, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, post it. That's our jobs as Anons, is to get the word out there.
Yeah, it is, because we've got to do everything we can to clear up all this confusion. Oh, it's hard. It's hard to believe all the crap we have to fight and battle every day.
Yep. But that's why we're here. We don't give up. We don't surrender.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And learn more every day, get more and better equipped every single day.
Absolutely.
So, hey, Susie Odom's got something for us. And thank you. Thumper put the link out for that letter. Figures it came in right after our show. I kind of take a break and actually go eat something. So I definitely am not very focused in those hours until later in the day. But all is well. He got it for us, and boy, was that important. I'm glad you didn't give up. Thank you, Missy, because we don't want to give up on that one. We want to get that, that clear in people's minds, because so many admired him. I mean, even Trump did. I think he genuinely did. I mean, you'd see him say mad talk and you'd think, oh, that's so cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The man let him down majorly.
Well, they did say we would be surprised.
Yeah. Makes you a little concerned.
And that was a surprise indeed.
Yeah, well, you hear murmurings though. I think we all kind of hold our horses right. We've all got our half a brake on or a bridle on around our neck until we get the whole go ahead. Yes,
right.
It's just part of the wear and tear. It's part of what makes you tired because at first, especially, you just can't even absorb it all, and then you have to divide the wheat from the chaff. And that's a long process, and we're still doing that every day. But thank you, President Trump.
Missy says, you think they will be refunding their Secret Service detail? I think they should take away all of their security detail and see how they act then. Well, they might not need social or a Secret Service detail soon. They may be someplace where they'll have security. Well, they'll be someplace secure 24/7. That'll save us. I don't know if it'll save us money or not, but at least they'll be gone.
Yeah, I was going to say a different kind of security at that point.
Right.
Yeah, I know. We really need to pray about this crazy DC mayor and other things, other officials. We've got crazy news in my own town, although I don't live right in the city. Just amazing the control that they still have over us, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Local government, right? Well, when it's corrupt, it is not fun. So it's up to us to make the changes. And it's not going to change unless we say something, unless we educate those around us. It's not going to change. But yeah, Erie County is not allowed. We're being punished. There's no doubt in my mind. We're not allowed to go green yet.
Uh-oh, Bill Bobot's yelling at you.
What did I do?
He's writing in big letters. He's saying, cover that post Susie Odom just entered. And you put a microphone with a little person in it, too.
I generally do.
Yes, Bilbo, we see you. Message relayed. It's, I don't know what that was. Okay.
You know what? I pulled it up on my little thing on my little tablet. So, I've got to go and get it. It's Catherine Herridge, right? So I can go get it. Just look up it. Go directly there. I would think it would be the most recent one. So, she is the go-to lady these days. Just got to spell her name right. Yeah, right. CBS Heritage. That's why it didn't come up. Okay. While we're on the subject even of our protectors and our military, then down to our law enforcement, you don't bow your knee to any protesters either, by the way. You don't, because you're just acquiescing to everything that they're doing and the spirit that they're operating out of. You have to, as the protectorate, as the guard, you don't bow your knee. It's inappropriate. Hey, Catherine Harris said 4 minutes ago, Senate Governmental Affairs Ranking Member Senator Gary Peters on subpoenas, FBI Russia probe unmasking. We're facing a pandemic. Peaceful protests across the country have been infiltrated by violent agitators. It is our committee's primary responsibility to address them. Okay. So this is just for the justifying not going forward. Somebody give me the right.
Maybe we need to zoom in on that photo and see if we could read some of that. That might give us a little more insight.
Yeah, I'm absolutely pulling my chat back up. And then I go get a link and my chat goes away. Got to get it back. So it'll be a Q post. You know it. That's not the right one. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
I would have thought it'd be the first.
That was a Q post.
That's not the one that she wants us to do, though.
No, I've noticed lately Susie seems to put messages out there and then Q will post them later. So I was accusing Season Pixels of being in cahoots with Q. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's Susie.
Oh, well, my money's on Susie. I love Pixels.
What do we have here? We have names. Go scroll down. Oh, my. Republican-led Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee authorizes Senator Ron Johnson to issue subpoenas, FBI Crossfire Hurricane, State Department, Contact Author, Steele Dossier, and unmasking by former government officials, plus 30 names. Read. Oh, let's see the names we have here. We have James Baker. We have John Brennan, Sidney Blumenthal. Let's see. I'm trying to bring this up a little closer to me so I could read it. I'm having a hard time with it even here. James Clapper. Kevin, let's see here.
Sometimes when you do on the image, it doesn't help. It makes it even smaller. I'm at 150%.
Okay. Kevin Kleinship, James Comey, Patrick Cologne, Kelly Degman, James Dempsey, Mary Gleason, Seth Greenfield, Kathleen Kavalek, Jacob Liu, Dennis McDonough, Arthur Danny McGlynn, Sally Moyer, Michael Newfield, Victoria Newland, Stephanie O'Sullivan, Lisa Page, John R. Phillips, Joe Picenta, Samantha Power, E.W. Bill Priestap, Sarah Raskin, Susan Rice, Cody Shearer, Nathan Sheets, Elizabeth Sherwood Randall, Eric Summons, Peter Strzok, Adam Zubin, and Jonathan Weiner.
Well, it's got to be a lot of lower hanging fruit. I mean, you've got Joe Pienka. That'll be interesting.
It looks like the ones in pink are maybe more important, and the ones in yellow are secondary because they're highlighted for a reason. Oh, they're highlighted for the reasons above, and I don't know if I could read that. That's awful teeny weeny.
No, let me see.
So the yellow goes with the yellow names, I think. I think that's how she's doing it. Oh, okay. The people in yellow are for Crossfire Hurricane, is what it looks like. And also National Intelligence.
I think I can read it. The committee hereby authorizes the chairman to issue subpoenas as follows. The FBI for the production of all records related to Crossfire Hurricane investigation. This includes, but is not limited to, all records provided to make available to the Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Justice for its review that resulted in the report, review of the 4 FISA applications and other aspects of the FBI's Crossfire investigation, and all records related to requests to the GCA, General Services Administration, that's good, or Office of the Inspector General of GSA for presidential transition records from November 2016 through December 2017. So that's things that would be going on in the background, preparing for the new administration. General Services Administration is the one that just gets you all the supplies and things you need, I think. Any kind of tools and electronics, that kind of thing. Could be wrong. General Services, but there's an Inspector General over it. Very interesting. So, to the Department of State for the production of all records related to meetings or communications between DOS officials or employees with Christopher Steele. Any exchange of information between those officials, employees, and Mr. Steele the sources of any information provided by those officials, employees to Mr. Steele, and any exchange of related information between those officials and employees or any of the other government agency, including but not limited to the FBI, from June 16 through January 2017. I think we could go back to 2015, but well, let's just start. To the Office of the DNI for the production of all records related to the unmasking, in parentheses, a request to reveal an identity that has been obscured, minimized, and information collected or disseminated by the U.S. intelligence community of U.S. persons or entities affiliated, formally or informally, with the Trump campaign, Trump transition, or Trump administration. There we go, from June 2015 through January 2017. Very cool.
And of course, they dropped that on a Friday. So, depending on how these people feel about themselves and their position, could we possibly be looking for a suicide weekend?
See how you put that together?
Well, I mean, we're going back to Crossfire Hurricane, okay? And, we're talking some really heavy duty stuff here, and they're naming names, and now their names are out in public. Depending on what is, I guess, how comfortable you feel, with sticking around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, if you knew that you had to say, if you were a bad actor and you knew that you couldn't say anything and you had your choice between Hillary Clinton killing you or somebody in that group or going to prison, and you knew that, oh, there's no way you're going to go to prison, you have one other choice. So you don't have to testify.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sad,
yep.
But these things happen.
So we also have someone put in a link for the Sarah Carter tweet that has not been around long, so I'm there. We'll go there. We're always into the breaking stuff, huh? I don't believe it was this one. It's this one. All right. A new letter from Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn. Quote, I am not done. This letter means that Lieutenant General Flynn has not given up on the country, and neither should you. A close friend of Flynn said. Retired but not finished. We're not going to let him go anyhow, Oh, that's the same one from Bards. Yeah.
He's a keeper for sure.
Read the full email below. Y'all, why couldn't she just give me straight there? That would have been better. Okay. Maybe it's still trying to come. Because it's not the full one. Yeah, I think that's actually, I'm sure it's in my bookmarks, but you guys are funny. And thorough, because I don't see that Sarah Carter's link is going to take me straight there. She's got a little bit to write about it, but, I want to see the letter. And we love you, Sarah, but I just want to get
you know letter. What? I think that might be it right there, right underneath Free Flynn, her actual tweet with the General Flynn. All right, underneath.
Finally populating.
No, it jumped up.
Right here is what you mean.
All right, yeah, right there. I think that might be it. If you click on that might be the actual.
That's what I clicked on. That's what we're still looking.
I thought you hit the picture.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm
saying. I thought maybe I caught something.
Well, we know Bards has it. Bards of War. And it is very important. What are the letters today? We're into private communications today, meant for all the world to see. It was funny about all the Jim Acosta whining about the social distancing. That was quite amazing. And superficially ridiculous. See, then I add, though, things to my bookmarks, and old Bards of War is probably way down at the bottom. There we go. Awesome. I knew it was in here. With Bongino right above it. So I was going to get to it. Y'all don't worry.
Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm. That's why we go to Twitter, and I stick everything that's really the find in there. Of course, now there's a tweet. Did he get your... Did we already read it, Susie? Tell the truth. What? Tell the truth. Come on. We're going to read this if he does. That's what it's going to be. That stinker. All right, quickly. To Scott Ketterson. Scott, if the United States wants to survive the onslaught of socialism, if we are to continue to enjoy self-government, to secure God-given individual blessings of liberty for ourselves, our families, then good Americans must accept that each has a moral obligation to participate in the political life of our country. The art and exercise of self-governance requires active participation. Voting matters, but it's only a part-time engagement of the American citizenry and doesn't go far enough if we are to survive as a constitutional republic. I want to see more of our veteran and law enforcement communities become involved in the political life of America. We are a participatory experiment in governing. Without a greater commitment, we will continue to slide into the abyss of socialism, and we must not be intimidated by the smear campaigns that will most certainly come with greater and more active participation. We will only keep America if we dedicate ourselves to freedom's victory over the socialist monster by our good citizens accepting greater responsibility. I am not done. God bless America. Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn. Awesome. That is so much where I want to go today, too.
Uh-oh. I'm seeing new Q.
We're going there. See?
Okay, drop 4422.
Go back to Catherine Herridge again. See? That's what we just did. And we said it, and it is happening. I might just leave the cue drops up if they're gonna talk with us. We would love it. I actually have a herd of beasts. I don't know.
So, T. James, why are we going over old news? We already knew this.
Yeah, I know. Well, it actually... Nope, it is exact same tweet. You go. You're allowed to ask for a raise now, Susie.
Is Q listening and, he's telling us to dig more on this letter of names, maybe to dig in the people that we've never heard of before? It's funny that it should come up again. That's why I'm asking. So maybe we need to take a good look at that letter and maybe start looking into some of those names that we haven't heard of on the list.
Absolutely. And I know it's probably in every person's mind, and people that are really organized have it, written down as a list, all the lower hanging fruit to go in and look at. But, there's also so much risk.
Rick Capetto says to you, yep, you beat Q to it. No, he's probably listening.
Yeah.
T. James probably has a direct line. She's just not telling us.
Well,
I'll say this, PSB is show prep for Q or message prep for Q, and sometimes he's show prep for us, so it works. But it's a mutual arrangement. PSB as a whole.
Well, and we're so grateful we that are here every single day. It's tough to be right on the cusp all the time because so much is coming out at this time of day. Everybody's had time to write their articles, and there's things happening all over the world. It's not like in the middle of the night where it does slow down a little bit, at least in America, to some degree. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We try to bring in the newest thing because that's just the nature of the hour that we're in. And too fun. Q has many eyes. Yeah. So that's what I thought was funny earlier. Oh, that's the Q. That's the Thunder and Lightning. So wah for Jim Acosta. We already saw that. So while we're waiting for something else to drop, let's look what Cindy Powell had to say. Hard to think of anything more clarifying or appropriate. Satanists joining Antifa. Pretty sad. Why would you want to go around looking like that? It's so sad.
They're possessed. That's got to be the only reason. These people are possessed.
Yeah. Oh, I put this in here. Okay. This is about what, if you wanted to do a little infiltrating or snooping, or I even have a video to show you the MIT experiment with the potato chip bag, listening in on conversations that I'm sure they're aware of. Anyway, this is nobody that I follow, but it is their Twitter, and then they have Instagram, they have Facebook, as they're showing you all their events, and they're gathering tomorrow at 4 o'clock at Lafayette on 16th and 8th Street, and at LA at noon, Hollywood and Vine, Minneapolis at 1, at the governor's mansion, and so on and so on. So if anybody feels the unction of spirit to go there and pray or whatever else, then that's what you look at. Trump, Pence must go now, or refuse fascism at sign, refuse fascism. Okay. Find or add your city. I didn't see that earlier. Yuck. How about Texas, Spirit Warrior? They have any protests and things going on that I missed?
Everybody's carrying for the next 7 days. Nothing's going on down here. Kidding. Honestly, I haven't been able to keep up. I've been locked in my room for the last 3 or 4 days, so I don't know what's going on in the real world out there.
It's the truth. If I actually get local news, it's big. And of course, what came across and I noticed today was we're not green yet.
Here's the other thing. I just kind of stopped listening to the local news because what I'm finding is when I listen to PSB all day and there's 0 interruptions for commercials, when I get in the car and turn the radio on, it drives me insane. More commercial time than there is news time. So by the time I get in my car, get where I'm going, the commercials are over, the news starts. So,
I agree. My tolerance has been lowered.
It has been lowered real big. Now, the drawback here is on PSB. Can somebody play a song so I can go to the restroom? Because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something.
It's true. I take my phone with me everywhere, if you know. It's partly why I have 2 of them. One's always got to be charging or ready to go.
Yeah, yep. I hate to say it, but I haven't been keeping up that close with what's going on here locally. Just for the sake of, it's either PSB or I'm going out and hitting the YouTube guys, iPod and X22 and those guys. Mm-hmm. That's where my news is coming from. So I'm really not keeping up with the local very much.
Well, and you are in Texas. I mean, yes, there's infiltration going on, but it's a whole different world.
There's certainly some things going on down here. And we had from what I understand, there were a couple of rallies in the area that they really didn't turn out. I mean, there was a little bit of trouble, but, nothing that wouldn't go outside the norms of any other kind of rally, from what I understand. Now, I could be wrong, but so it was pretty well behaved. But that was also around the time POTUS was laying down the curfews. So they might have been having to break those things up earlier. I'm not sure, but they didn't seem to get out of hand. I haven't heard any reports of anything major happening here. Which ways in the area? I know Texas is a big state. Part of it's quite liberal, part of it's quite conservative. So it's hard to say Texas in general.
Yeah, I know. Once you get around Austin, I don't know. They definitely focused on taking out the capitals, right? Or at least a lot of them. These infiltration seems to be very interesting with the Democrat leaders that are in it. But Texas has always been so good. It's not going to turn. It's all right. It's going to be all right. So that's all I need to say. Because I'm counting on you. They just don't put up with that crap. This was interesting. Every station's airing the president this morning, except CNN. That was interesting. That's even a good sign. You have all the other MSMs carrying it. And CNN was wussing out.
And you did say eventually they're going to have to start covering because they'll have no choice.
Well, I think the MSM stuff, the ratings are getting so low that it's the only way they can get people to watch when the president's talking again.
Yeah,
I love it. Thank you, guys. Slide it in there because that's excellent commentary. What people need to remember. So this is just funny, but he used to live here, John Robertson, and got to talking to him for a little while. I don't know where he's at now, but this is what's neat about this. I don't really want to turn her on because she's cussing and she is a bimbo. Is look at all the National Guard. He's making fun of her vocabulary, but down Hollywood Boulevard, just troops are coming out. Pretty cool. Whether they like it or not, or whether Mr. Newsom likes it or not. Okay. It's already 2:00. I love this lady's thread because being all over the world, and I think she's an immigrant, but just really makes a case, great argument, should be a lawyer about America being the most amazing non-racist country in the world. And all the whiners need to shut their mouths is basically what she's saying there. So and you guys,
what was that about counterfeit currency that you just had on there? Right there.
You know what? This goes more with, I suppose, George Floyd thing.
Yes. CBP officers discovered $900,000 in counterfeit U.S. currency in a commercial rail shipment in International Falls, Minnesota. Bet you that's what they were paying the protesters with. The counterfeit currency was seized and will be turned over to Secret Service. And then there's a detail on that. I would not be surprised.
Interesting.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I understand money laundering and all that. But, with everything that's going on out there, I would not be surprised if they were passing out phony money, too, to top it all off. You never know.
Well, he's not coming out of Soros's pocket. He's not about to do that.
That is right.
Yep. So, and then I believe you guys did just see Dan Bongino, which was very compelling and a great video. But I'm not going to play it, I don't think, right now, because it's already 2:00. About the mutinous military, and they've been trying to raise up, but we know God's got his back, he's got our back, and they're on it. So unless you guys really beg me to play it, I don't think you need to. It's about an hour ago. It was about when Thumper was finishing up his show. So anywho, got so much other stuff to show and share with you today. It's incredible. We could take a little break, have a little music break, or we could have a little video break. I've got so many videos to show you. You know what? I might just do that. because here's something funny. Speaking of Antifa, I think I have to do this. I'll take us right into the great segue. It is what you just said. It's just too perfect. So, Antifa protests George Soros for non-payment. I don't know if this is real, but it's really funny. Yeah, listen. You'll make it out. You'll make it out, I imagine.
I'll say this: if it's legit, then I think we just got our convention. It's one of those cute things that you don't have to tell people to show them. I think people know where this is really organized and coming from now. If it's fake, I don't want to be spreading bad news, but wow, it's still a powerful message either way because the meaning is still the same.
Yeah, too much.
I hate to interrupt you, but they're asking for a link to the, I guess, I don't know if it was the tweet or the article that went along with that stash of money that they found.
Oh, that was just, yeah.
There was an article that went along with it, and people are asking about it.
I don't think I do, since it was in my bookmarks. I don't believe I have the link, but we can go back there.
I think at the bottom of the article, there was a link to a Bitly. It was a Bitly link.
Okay, let me put this over to the. Okay, I'm going to put it over to the side.
Other words, I wouldn't have bothered you.
It's all right. I'm going to put it over to the side and pull it out for you guys while we play the latest Project
And they want that one too. The one you were just playing to, they want that as well.
No, I know. I bet they do. That's the one I downloaded, so it's on YouTube, but I'll find it.
Yeah, those two go hand in hand, I think.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, all right.
I wasn't off when I said that that's what they could be doing. And they seized the money, and they were probably passing out phony money, and you said it wasn't going to come out of his pocket. Well, now the Secret Service has the money. Maybe I was right.
Nope. As soon as you said that, it was like, I got to play that now. Perfect timing. And I will be over here on the side getting you guys the link. But here is, as promised, part 2 of Project Veritas expose of Antifa. And we will pray at the end of the show. I think I saw someone asking about that. It was just going to have all together at the end, towards the end. Okay, I'll be back.
If you get a good liver or kidney shot, it's pretty much crippling. You're going to be doubled over and in a lot of pain. If you break one of the floating ribs, which are small right down here, those are also very painful. It's hard to move after that. It's hard to catch your breath. So one good body shot could potentially give you all the time in the world to run away while they're doubled over in pain. Right. Or really put a beating on them after that if you really don't like the person.
We just kind of want to, in the space, reframe the idea of self-defense as not simply you're being acted upon by an aggressor, but it's a kind of a decision you make to fight back. In a lot of ways to say, I'm human and I occupy this space and I'll be not with my nose, side of my head. If I come into you, you could definitely do it from here. But like from here and just be like, and then you want to follow it up with something else. Yeah. So if that doesn't knock him out, then yeah, the nose, the face, the eye, poke the eyes with the end of the day. So it's, Absolutely. Yeah. We call call this a safe space to practice aggression, not aggression against one another, but really just a space that if you want to, or if you will want to challenge yourself to kind of work on harnessing that kind of energy.
Seems like more people are using like bats and batons.
Yeah, which like we can totally do defense against blunt objects, but it's hard to do defense against blunt objects when someone's holding a shield.
Yeah.
Because defense against blunt objects involves like, just try to hit me. Like that kind of shit. If you've got a shield, like what?
They just bash them.
So the main takeaway from Seville was just stay away. No, bouncers like to choke people from the back.
Yeah.
Rear naked chokehold. That shit is used all the time. Like someone will just come up behind you. Or the other thing.
The bear hug.
It's super simple.
You just drop your body weight, right?
Crazy simple. So the idea is you step to the side, grab the person, and then slam them down. Okay? That's one way. So here's the other way. Hey, come on, choke him.
You step, you grab his
or you just solidly elbow. He will let go.
Well, that's just a really useful jiu-jitsu then. That's just do the choke that we were showing earlier.
You're trying to basically cut off both arteries.
Yeah.
So you can, squeeze.
So basically, imagine this is their neck. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your choking arm and you're gonna just like stick it out, palm down, like not so cool Nazi salute. And you're just gonna curl it across. And at this point, your elbow should be right underneath their chin. And then you take your hands, you one's pointing down, one's up, both parallel to the ground. You flatten your thumbs against your fingers. Clasp them like this.
Be brave. Do something, huh?
Well, patriots should be smart and stay at home is all I have to say. Because these people that are going to these marches, I'm guessing a good part of them are there to be up to no good. And the good people will be caught in the crossfire. So if you know of anybody who's planning on going, basically tell them it's safer to stay at home and let these idiots do each other in. That's all I can say. Mm-hmm. I hope to God we'll all say a prayer this weekend and hope and pray that nobody gets hurt. But if anybody does, let it be against the ones that are trying to do harm.
Yeah, absolutely. The boomerang thing. So, I don't know. Spirit Warrior, you're around? I think he did an away from keyboard thing, didn't he?
Yeah, I just sat back down.
Oh. Would you like to just say a little prayer for the things going on, the plans for, that does feel like, heavy after those Antifa things. I know you're not prepared, but.
When we were watching it that prayer we prayed the other day, those are the sort of things that kind of make me start edging toward the wrong kind of thing. And Chris, if you're still out there listening, when you were talking this morning about with your anger, that was the righteous anger that we're supposed to have, not the hatred anger, but that righteous anger that something is godly wrong here. And I mean godly as in, or ungodly, if you will, for lack of better terms. That's what we're supposed to be angry with. And we have to remember, Q's told us, we all understand this, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing me say it. This is a spiritual battle. And a lot of those people are not bad, evil people. They are being influenced by the wrong side of the spiritual realm. And we have to keep that in mind. Don't hate the people. Understand that, if we can go after the spiritual side of this in prayer, then the people issue will straighten itself out on its own. So, I will certainly pray over this. It is definitely, I don't know. Well, let me ask this. I've been a little tied up today. Does anybody have any solid information on that million people hitting Washington? Do we know for sure if those numbers are growing big, or is that just, media hype and speculation?
They're going to hype it up. You know that.
No, I'm sure of that. I guess I'm looking, does anybody have any confirmation? Do they have any idea how many people are really heading that way at this point? Because that's definitely something we need to pray about as well. So let me do that. Let me go ahead and pray over these things, and because it's definitely, if there's any truth in what's going on, million people heading to Washington, and just the fact that the media is posting it out there, you may have a lot of people heading to other cities just because they can't make it to Washington. You know what I'm saying?
Several.
The media is setting the example, and people are going to go, well, I can't make it to Washington, but I can go burn down my own city. So we got to watch for that sort of thing too. So let me go ahead and do that. So Heavenly Father, we thank you again for this day.
Yes.
We thank you for, again, an opportunity to come together as a family to learn what's going on, to understand what's going on, to support each other, to help each other to understand what we need to do and how we need to handle things. But God, we're entering into a time, possibly this weekend, where things could get very, very bad. And we are asking that you would bring calm and peace to the situation now. God, I know I've said this many times on this channel, that sometimes you will calm the storm, and sometimes you will calm the child. And sometimes you just calm the child because the storm has to play out, because that storm is what's setting the groundwork for something else. We don't like it all the time, but sometimes we have to go through that storm to get to the other side to make things better. And it's just as we talked this morning in Q Post 4407, I think it was, God, that until we get to the precipice of disaster, some people are not going to react. And maybe that's what this storm is going to have to do, is to push many of us right to the edge. But God, we know from watching friends, family, just acquaintances, sometimes those people who have the worst problems, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, they will not turn until they hit the bottom. And while nobody wants that to happen and nobody likes that to happen, perhaps that's what we have to experience here, God. And if that's the case, we're going to trust you to get us through it. We're going to trust you to keep us calm. We're going to trust you to give us wisdom and discernment. And if we're going to try and get involved, if we go to try and be the good influence, we need that wisdom and discernment when to move away from the problem, because it may very well get out of hand. And, God, I've said on several occasions, there's a blind faith and a stupid faith. I can have faith all day that track that I'm standing on, you're going to stop the train before it hits me. But I don't believe you work that way sometimes, God. We have to be wise and we have to be smart. Your word tells us to be wise as doves, to be as tame as doves and wise as serpents, to understand the wiles and the schemes of the devil, and we have to react to that. So we're asking for your intervention this week. If we have to go through that storm, and that storm is what is preparing us to come out on the other side better, then we thank you for that storm. I'm going to say that right here now. I don't like it, but God, if that's what it takes, then we want to thank you for allowing us to go through it, and that we come through the storm properly. And we do lift up the people, Lord, that may be just the innocents who may not understand what's going on. Keep them from harm. But we also, as Ned said earlier, God, we want to see righteous justice done here. Those people who are the bad players, who will never change their mind, who are so heavily influenced by the enemy. Your word tells us that in Romans 1:20, that some people know about God, but they choose to turn away from him. And then you give them over to that reprobate mind, and some of those people may never be able to be helped. I am a firm believer in you can touch anybody who's willing to, but I think once your will goes so far, it's too late for some of those people. And we just pray that the justice would be done in those cases. But God, I'm not asking for justice and kill them on the spot. I'm asking, bring them in and maybe give them that one more opportunity to be exposed to the truth and to know you. Maybe that's the rock bottom for some of those people. And we are just praying for peace and calm across the country this weekend. We're praying for peace and calm in the people. Like I said, if the storm has to come, we thank you for it, that we go through it and things will get better on the other side. And we just lift all this up to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Now, don't get rattled. Just put the president on with the captions are going. And he was just talking about the economy. He might actually get into dialogue now. So we didn't miss much, but figured I'd let them know that we have the channel up so they won't get upset with us. But thank you so much, Spirit Warrior. Warriors all are we. Amen.
That's okay. I've heard her and I being interchanged several times over the weekend, so
yeah,
it happens.
I used to be worship warriors, but then too many people did that, so it's like,
yeah,
it's all good.
Please, Stefan, think of it. When I saw it, I said, "What are you talking about? We don't want to have any police." They said, "You don't want police." First, they didn't want ICE. They do want sanctuary cities, which are a disaster. But they say they're going to defund the police. In other words, they're not going to pay police. They don't want to have any police, the real ones. And Biden is bought into it, but he doesn't know what's going on. So, he just doesn't know. But the people around him know what's going on. And they want to defund the police. They don't want to have police. So I want to thank you very much for being here. I'm thrilled to be with my friends from the great state of Maine, with leaders from the fishing, crabbing, and lobster industries, very important industries, and you never have been treated properly, or at least for the last long period of time. We're also joined by Secretary of the Interior David Bernhardt and a very good friend of mine, former Governor Paul LePage. Paul, thank you very much for being here. Did a great job running this state, I can tell you that. As we work to fully reopen and revitalize our nation's economy, I'm doing everything in my power to support American workers, including those in Maine's amazing seafood industry. It's a big industry, but a lot of people have not been taking care of this industry. We have, and that's why we're here. We're going to take care of it even better starting today. We were all very excited to see the blockbuster 2.5 million jobs added last month. Far exceeding any expectations. Not even the wildest expectations thought it was supposed to be down 9 million, and it was up 2.5 million. I would say their estimators didn't do too good a job. Under the last administration, commercial fishermen and Maine lobstermen were suddenly informed that nearly 5,000 square miles of ocean off the coast of New England would be closed to commercial fishing without justification. Is that right? 500? No, you got to be kidding. Is that right?
That's correct, sir. That's
so
right.
They just closed it. They said you can't fish. But let me guess, other countries do, right?
No, exactly. It's inside.
They do. This action was deeply unfair to Maine lobstermen, threatened to cripple family businesses and cost America's fishermen millions of dollars. So they closed 5,000 square miles of ocean off your coast, right? That's amazing, Paul. How did they let that happen?
Obama just used
that was
pen.
President Obama. Thank you very much. With a pen. Was that done in the form of an executive?
In the very last few days of his administration.
You're going to fix it.
We're opening it, right?
You're fixing it.
So we're opening it today. We're undoing his executive order. Why would that be? It's ridiculous. What reason did he have for closing 5,000 miles? That's a lot of miles. 5,000 square miles is a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't have a reason, in my opinion. All right, so we're opening it up. Today I'm signing a proclamation to reverse that injustice, to reverse that order from the previous administration, and we are reopening the Northeast Canyons and the Seamounts Marine region to commercial fishing. Is that okay? Is that what you want? Yeah? That's an easy one. For me, I can't even believe they can do a thing like that. It's a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. So America's blessed with some of the richest ocean resources anywhere in the world, except when they close it up. And yet we have a $16.6 billion seafood trade deficit and import over 85% of the fish we consume. No wonder you have 5,000 miles that's closed up. Who would think that we import 85% of the fish from other countries that are your competitors. And we have the best fishing areas in the world, I would think, right? Is that among the best fishing areas anywhere in the world? How does it compare to other locations in the world?
Georges Bank is a very rich fishing area in the world.
And for lobster, the best, right?
Yeah. The best in the Gulf of
For
Maine.
lobster.
And Atlantic scallops.
And scallops. I like scallops. Good. We'll have plenty of scallops to eat. This is why I've taken decisive action. And we're going to send our fishermen out there. You're going to go fishing in that area now that you haven't seen for a long time. Lobstermen and seafood producers, I want to just congratulate you. Last month, I signed an executive order to begin an accelerated review and reduction of all unnecessary regulations on the seafood industry. So who's doing that, David? Who's working?
The Department of Commerce.
Okay. You'll make sure that gets done quickly.
Absolutely.
Okay. This guy, when I give him something, it gets done. Between him and Peter, we have the right people. So Peter, you'll make sure that you and David.
This is a great thing for the state of Maine. These two executive orders together is going to bring back commercial fishing in a big way. Sir, that is some of the most fertile fishing grounds in the entire world that's been shut off.
And we've gone through all of the machinations, all of the work, so we can sign this now. It takes a while to get it done, but we're getting it done. Not easy, because they did it in such a way that it's not easy. I ordered the formation of a trade task force that will identify opportunities to open foreign markets to our seafood exports. We're going to talk about the European Union, who constantly take advantage of us on trade. Nobody knows that. And I'm further cracking down on illegal harvested and imported seafood. That's a big deal too, right? What does that mean, illegally harvested? Who wants to answer that question? Go ahead.
Fish they call it EI fish, illegally harvested fish that some countries don't enforce fisheries conservation rules. In our country, we do. So if a country is off at their coast and they don't have to,
so they don't have rules. So they
don't have any rules. They can catch fish.
So our conservation rules, are they overly tough or are they ridiculous? Because other countries don't have any conservation rules, right? Most other countries. Are rules fair and good, or are they not?
We have a lot of rules in place that are preventing us from harvesting sustainably some of the resources out here. The fact that I'm in the groundfish industry, the resources off New England are at a record high.
You can't talk in
the resources off New England are at record levels. Never been recorded in history that they're so high, but we're underfishing.
Because you're underfishing.
We're underfishing.
Is that because of regulations?
Because of antiquated regulations that you can never get rid of something that's in place.
So are we then looking at those regulations, Peter, or not?
Sure.
Because let's do it.
That's
I mean,
what
we came up here for a different reason, but let's look at those. So in other words, you have more product that we've ever had before because you're not allowed to use it. You're not allowed to fish, basically.
You're not allowed to fish, and some of the problem, and when I was governor, I encountered it. If you go to Commerce, and Commerce sends you to NOAA, and there's a lot of bureaucrats in NOAA that really put on some hurtful penalties and regulations on the fishermen.
So they were so burdensome that you can't fish.
Correct.
So now what's happening is being taken over.
Or you can't afford to fish.
You can't what?
They're so burdensome that you can't afford to fish. They make it so that
probably both. You can't fish and you can't afford to fish.
And you can't afford to fish.
So let's open it up, Paul.
Yep.
Nobody better than Paul LePage to get this going, in my opinion. So can I ask you to work on with
absolutely
my two great guys, Peter and David?
I would be more than happy.
And let's open it up, okay? And we want conservation. I'm a believer in conservation, but they've gone crazy. And then other countries, they don't have the same, so you have a much more expensive product. You have a better product, but you're not allowed to even get it in many cases, right?
That's correct.
It's amazing. So I ordered the formation of a task force, and today I did something else. I put Paul LePage in charge of trying to figure that one out, which you already have figured out, I suspect. You've been living with that a long time. And you've been unable to get previous administrations to do anything about this.
That is correct. And it was particularly bad under the Obama administration. I spent 6 years.
They kept piling it on.
They just kept piling it on and delay.
And why did they do that? Just because they thought environmentally or something? Not really. Politically, they did it.
It was a little bit of a political stunt because unlike yourself and I, we're friends. Obama and I were not friends. And it was very difficult to get to talk to him.
He might have also been nice to other countries, right? Like Canada, right? He might have been nice to other countries like Canada.
Yes, he was.
So I ordered the formation of a task force, thank you, Paul, that will identify opportunities to open foreign markets to our seafood experts. I'm further cracking down on illegal harvested and imported seafood. That's what your problem was, right? So we're cracking down on it. I recently signed into law $300 million to help our nation's fisheries. Maine will receive $20 million. And you're going to get more than that now as we start breaking this crazy thing up. You know, I always think of this as a great fishing state, but you're so restricted. It really stops you from being a great fishing state. I'm going to ask David Bernhardt, though, and Peter Navarro to really get involved and get this done quick. This is ridiculous, okay? Can I do that? So I want every American who works out of the ocean and works in the ocean and fishes for all of the different things and the treasures to let you know that we're behind you 100%. You do an incredible job, and we want conservation. We want good environmental practices, very important. But we also want something that's fair to you. They've taken your livings away. I've been hearing about this for a long time in Maine and other places up here. I'd let it extend to other places that are also affected. Canada is given a tremendous advantage over the United States because of the practices of the previous administration and probably others. So we're not going to let that happen. As an example, I heard that Canada doesn't have to pay a tariff going into Europe.
That's correct.
But you do.
And we do.
Okay. So
and then
if that goes on, then we're going to do something that's going to make that look like small time.
And last year we were sending, or 2 years ago, we were sending a lot of product to China, and then China put a tariff on us for 40% because of some of the trade issues between the two countries.
And what happened to the tariff? Is it on now?
Oh, it's not gone down. I haven't checked lately, but you still pay tariffs, right? The lobster's still going to Canada, and from Canada they go over free, but it's just an added expense to the Maine lobsterman, who also has a 30% disadvantage.
So you're saying China charges a 40% tariff? And how big is the tariff that the European Union charges?
20 or 22.
Okay. And this country, because of stupidity for years, hasn't charged them
and the funniest part of this whole issue is the Canadian lobster we're talking of and the Maine lobster come out of the same water.
Are they the same lobster, would you say, basically?
Yes.
Would you say they're equivalent as lobster?
They're equivalent. They're
Is there a difference in size or type? Any difference?
They're coming out of the Gulf of Maine.
So you're set up with a 20% tax that they don't have, so they have a very good thing. And that's European Union, right?
Yep.
The European Union has ripped this country off so much, it's unbelievable.
And I'll tell you,
it's so easy to solve. I'm going to call them, David. You're going to come in, write a letter, and if they don't change, we're going to put a tariff on their cars until they change, and they'll change right away. Okay? It's unbelievable how badly, people hear about the European Union, sounds nice. They've been almost as bad over the years as China in terms of trade, but nobody talks about it. That's right. There's a perfect case, Maine lobster. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're going to charge an equivalent plus tariff to them if they don't drop their tariff on your lobster and seafood, okay? And we can do that. Peter, do you agree with that? Do you like it?
We need to
Let me put you in charge of that one. That's a natural for you. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
That's a natural for you. European Union charges us a tariff. They don't charge Canada a tariff. This is for the press. So Canada doesn't pay a tariff for the same exact lobster in the same waters, but we pay a tariff. If European Union doesn't drop that tariff immediately, we're going to put a tariff on their cars, which will be equivalent, come in for nothing, which is ridiculous. Okay? Do you understand? It's going to be the equivalent plus.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be the equivalent plus. Watch how fast that tariff comes off. All right? Watch how fast. It should be plus, plus, plus. Okay? I'm going to put Peter Navarro in charge of it. That's perfect for him. I'll take that one off your plate, okay? All right, Peter Navarro, you're in charge of it. Thank you. This country has been treated so badly on trade for so many years. We have such bad agreements. We're breaking so many of them up. It's been treated so badly, it's hard to believe.
You know, Canada, in some respects, Canada has been our worst enemy in the produce industry. We cannot send
Canada's been very tough. Canada charged in Wisconsin, before I got up and changed it, 287% tariffs on dairy products.
Yeah.
So think of it. And they kept it at 287. They didn't want to make it 300 because they thought somebody might find out. And until I became president, nobody knew. I ended it. But they were charging Wisconsin and our farmers 287% tariffs to send dairy products to Canada. So therefore you didn't send. You couldn't compete.
You couldn't compete.
And our people didn't charge them anything.
That's correct.
Canada's been very tough. Very tough. You know why? Because they got away with it, that's all. Because people sitting here didn't know what the hell they were doing. Okay. But the deal has worked out. You know, the new deal is a good deal. It's got rid of all that stuff. But we didn't talk about lobster. But Peter Navarro's going to be the lobster king now, okay? All right, Peter?
Yes, sir.
Look, you can do it. Let's see what you can do.
Dear to my heart.
Let's see what you can do.
This state right here, Maine, is dear to my heart. I spent a lot of time
There's another vegetable that most people don't speak of, and can't bring to Canada. And we're one of them. We have a company in Maine that is one of the major growers of broccoli in the country.
Broccoli.
In the summer, they're in Maine. In the winter, they're in Florida. But what has happened the last few years is the Canadians bring their broccoli into market. They have a 30% advantage on the exchange rate. And so we can't sell our broccoli, and we can't send it to Canada.
Well, that's our big thing with the dollar.
That's the overvalued dollar.
That's what you and I talk about.
Yeah.
The dollar that everybody says.
Do that one too, sir. I mean, maybe the dollar.
Handle broccoli in the same way.
What's that?
Is it broccoli primarily that and the lobster, seafood, etc.?
There are a couple others. There's broccoli, blueberries. Blueberries, Maine used to grow 90% of the wild blueberries in the world.
So where is it done now?
Canada, New Brunswick, and Quebec have got 300,000 acres on, and so now Maine's blueberries are selling below growing cost.
And when you talked about the Obama administration about this, they did nothing.
They did nothing. I spent a lot of time in Congress.
Let's get on this.
The three things plus the seafood. This man he's a believer. He knows exactly what to do. I don't have to tell him a thing. And you guys will work on the other stuff together, okay? Any questions, by the way? Questions? Shouldn't be any questions after that. You got more than you would have ever thought.
I will just make one more comment.
Amazing.
I will make one more comment that we need your help on. As the country is reopening, of course, right now Maine is still tied up pretty tight because we have a governor that's not reopening very fast. But as
why
why
isn't your governor opening up your state?
I don't know. We don't know.
All these states are being opened. They're making a lot of money. That's why we had the good numbers today. You have a governor that doesn't know what she's doing. And she's like a dictator.
Yes, she is.
Why isn't she opening up your state?
Well, one thing that she's doing is the $600 a week that the people on unemployment are getting. She is allowing them to continue to collect when they're called back to work. And so people aren't coming back to work. And everybody in this room knows of people.
So she's taking advantage of the system.
Yes.
But she's not letting them come back anyway because you're shut down.
That's right. But the few that would. I know of 3 cases last week by an employer told me that these 3 people were called back.
Okay, let's go take a peek. Oh, come on up. There we go. Oh, I don't have 4424 yet, but I do have. And then on asking Q at 2:28. This is drop 4423. Our Heritage Pen Positions comms. TN. Follow the pen. Have you not been following?
Yeah, I think if you refresh that page, you'll see things shift around a little bit. Those numbers are you'll notice those two posts are duplicated. I had the same thing come up on my QAG when I refreshed the page. Everything got back in line.
Okay, thank you. Well, you know, I swear that said 4424 though.
Yeah, it did. Mine did the same thing. It said 24, and then I refreshed the page, and it came back like it's supposed to.
Okay, so there is no 24? I'm so confused. Don't tell me. Yep, TN's definitely up on the pens. We know we don't do angles. We only once in a while do the numbers around here. And, oh my goodness, I got to go back and watch Digging Deeper with Darn Pinata doing some great decoding last night. And of course, I walk in, you know, it's like, what did I miss?
Yeah, 22 is the original post from Catherine Heritage, and then 23 is a response to that, basically.
Okay, good. Then there is no 24. We can go back to the president because we cannot go to 8-kun.
Up here. So why is she doing this?
Well, what she's afraid of, or what she's claiming, is that in the summer, Maine only has 1.3 million people, but we have 40 plus million visitors a year, 30 plus million in 3 months. And she's afraid that if she doesn't quarantine the entire state, that these folks are going to bring
the problem
virus.
Is, though, those 3 months are your Christmas, right?
Yeah, you got it. It's our season.
Tiffany likes December. You like these 3 months. So she's going to get rid of all of your wealth, and you're never going to recover that.
That is correct. And so what I've advised her to do,
not good.
What I've tried her to do is everybody, you can only get into Maine 2 ways, well, 3 ways. The Canadian border, the 95, or Route 2.
Right.
So if you put somebody at Route 2, everybody's got a foreign plate, an out-of-state plate. You get their name, telephone number, where they're going to be. Problem solved. If you have an uptick, you go right there.
So you're giving away your tourist season this year because it's starting, right? So you're giving away your tourist system.
Yes.
I mean, she must know this, right?
I would think she's a right
how
lady.
does she do a thing like this? She's going to destroy your state. All right, look, I'm not a fan. We're going to solve your fishing problem. We're going to solve something that nobody thought was solvable. We'll solve it very easily. And Peter, you're going to handle that other situation.
Right on.
It's an incredible. Would you like to say something, folks? Go ahead.
Yes, I would. Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to.
Thank you. It's my honor.
It's an honor to be here to discuss with you the importance of commercial fishing to our country. I am the executive director of Associated Fisheries of Maine, and I have more than 30 years' experience in regional, national, and international fisheries management. And in all of that time, I have never known a president to express a concern about the well-being of our fishing and seafood industries. So thank you very much for your interest, for your executive order promoting American seafood, for this announcement that you've made today, which will allow our fishermen to go back to work. The Antiquities Act process.
We're doing that immediately. Are we doing that as of immediately?
You're opening up 5,000 square miles with the stroke of a pen.
As of when?
The minute you sign it, you will begin planning, and you're taking down a no fishing sign.
Yeah.
And opening up.
I love that.
The process by which this monument was established is a non-transparent process that does not allow for stakeholder input, does not produce any kind of economic analysis of the negative impacts, and prevents all of us from enjoying the benefits of our healthy marine resources. So again, we appreciate that you've recognized that and are taking action to correct that.
And your senators, where were your senators for all these years? What happened?
They abdicated their responsibility. They went home early this year because it's an election year and gave all their power to our governor.
So in addition to the opposition from the fishing industry, the Secretary of Commerce has also heard about opposition from the all 8 regional fishery management councils to establishing these monuments outside of the regular management process. So there has been a great deal of opposition to that, and now you're correcting.
What would you do about that?
Well,
the monuments, what would you do?
The management of fisheries within our exclusive economic zone is rightfully managed under the Magnuson-Stevens Fisheries Conservation and Management Act. So we have a process to do that. We don't need the Antiquities Act to be establishing monuments that restrict fishing.
So what do you need?
You're bringing that process back.
Well, this order will take care of our
so
immediate
you're going to be
you're going to take that back.
That's a big thing, right?
Yes.
You're so lucky I'm president. You are so lucky. I don't even know you, and you're so lucky.
Well, we're also looking to a pending action by the New England Fishery Management Council and the National Marine Fisheries Service, which will likely be voted on sometime in the fall, which would establish a requirement for our fishing boats to carry 100% of observers or at-sea monitors on all of our trips at our own expense. And this could be as much as $40,000 a year for some of our vessels. This is simply an expense that we cannot afford at this time, especially on the heels where we will be trying to recover from this pandemic, which has had a huge impact on the commercial fishing industry in New England. We certainly cannot afford an additional expense that is totally discretionary. The law does not.
What's happening with that, David?
That's in process.
Huh?
That's in
Get
process.
it done.
That's
we'll
part of
You're not going to have to.
Again, I just put it on your radar, Mr. President, so that
let
we
me
can
ask you
deal
a
with it in
question.
the future.
So European Union charges you a 20% tariff, and is China charging a 40% tariff, or is that not? What's China charging? 40.
I'm not familiar with that.
Or not? You know, Paul?
What? China right now is charging a tariff on Maine lobster going to China.
How much?
Our sales to China have gone from like 600,000 pounds to less than 100,000 pounds.
So you went from 600,000 pounds, that's the way you go, to 100,000 pounds. So you're way down.
And the only
Is that
way
because of the tariff?
Yes.
Okay.
What they do.
So, Peter, corresponding tariff to China for pick a product, a corresponding plus if they don't drop the tariff on Maine lobster going into China. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It's very simple, and I don't mind.
Yeah, the distribution companies have had to set up companies in Canada. They ship their.
No, I know. That's what they do. They go through different companies. It's called transshipping, to be exact. They transship. Okay, ready?
Yes, sir.
China, EU. All you do is say, that's okay, keep charging us, so we're going to charge you a corresponding on something that they sell that's very precious to them. Put a correspond. It should be for the same amount plus.
Yes, sir.
We'll take care of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, we operate a few boats here in Maine, but we also operate some scallop boats and some factory processors out in Alaska. And there is a tariff on the flatfish that's shipped into China that stays there. So if we want to ship it to them and develop a market in China.
Okay. Susie says the numbers are messed up. Oh, here comes my herd. All right. It's Bards again. Wonderful, wonderful channel. So let's read the essence of the drop here. Just came in 44.24 at 2:48 and 26 seconds. What happens when the gag order is lifted? Case dismissed. I'm not done, quote unquote. Who just said that? Be all you can be. Army strong. They knew they could not destroy America through invasion. infiltration at the highest levels of government, media, science, health, military. I'm COC, final level, chain of command. Is that what that means? Highest levels of education, too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, Bards. Let's see if he's up.
And I think that's the one you just showed.
Is it still the letter? Okay.
I think so. Yep. You're ahead of Q today.
Oh, sort of. I'm surprised, actually, that wasn't already a drop.
We have a little autist here in Changing the Atmosphere. She's ahead of Q.
Oh, it's all Susie and whoever else.
Susie.
Stroke of a pen.
Wow.
Look at that. Okay, let's just pull out this. I am not done. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, he's out, and I'm sure he's got a fire under his feet right now, and he can't wait to start running, General Flynn.
I know.
Just can't wait to hit that ground running.
I know. You know what we're gonna do?
Either. If that was me, he's going to be the most loved man next to the president.
Yeah,
watch
already kind of is. But
and he's so handsome too. I wonder what he looked like when he was younger. He is a handsome man, isn't he? I think so.
Absolutely. Anybody with character is. I'm not real big on the outer. Big on the inner, and I like it.
Well,
right?
Big on the inner too, but the outside helps. You know,
it does. It could be disastrously awful, which really wouldn't be just wouldn't be right. But
right,
we got to do this.
But you got to have fun. You just got to have fun on paper. You know,
General Flynn.
Get fired up.
I mean, there's no enemy that's unbeatable. You do not want to be predictable as to what you're going to do. This is warfare.
Lock her up. That's right. Lock her up. The advantage in life, in business, and in wartime goes to the competitor that does not flinch and does not broadcast his game plan. I'm here tonight as a determined American who loves our country, and my message to you is very clear. Wake up, America. On this day, we start the beginning of a new American century, a time when we turn our heads forward with persistent and relentless focus on protecting our communities, our families, and our country, with our feet firmly planted on the ground, and by holding individuals accountable for their actions.
Does he have the temperament to be commander-in-chief?
Yeah, no doubt. But I think the American people are much, much smarter than you know. We should clearly define our enemies, face them head on, and then defeat those that seek to threaten our country and our way of life. If we lose freedom here, there is no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
Thank you, General Flynn. His specialty, insurgency. Yes, he's ready.
A great way to almost end the show, and a Friday to boot.
It is. I did not mean to usurp our president in any way. It just was seeming fitting at the moment.
It was very fitting.
And, you know, God is crazy about you, and he's crazy about POTUS, and he's crazy about General Flynn. He does not have an insecurity issue. He does not. There's no worship going on here. It is unity. It is emotional. And it's a good thing because God doesn't, he likes emotions. Sure, he wouldn't have made them. He wouldn't have made them. He wouldn't have allowed even you to be led in some fashion towards them because they do guide you. You don't just discount it just because it is an emotion. But this first spirit, right? Then head. Then your emotions are kind of mixed in with your head. Anyway, spirit led is the best and the only way. So where do we get from there? Oh my goodness. So Maine was good. I don't know that I want to end on a Maine. I think I wanted to show you that last video. You know what? I might do that.
We have a nice little comment here in chat. It says, I've been feeling confused and upset for several days, but today I'm finding strength to carry on. To go from COVID to riots so fast took me by surprise. And that was from Carolyn Marie. Well, we hope we made you feel a little better by, the last half hour of our show. We have a lot of good news coming out today.
We sure do hope we did. And let's see. Just might go over a little over. And I don't want to do that. So, I'll speed her through it. We're going to just miss some of the things we wanted to do. But my whole point today was to listen to the voices, listen to your elders, the voices of wisdom, use your discernment. And real quickly, we'll hear what this lady who's running for Congress has to say. Dr. Winnie Hartstrom.
Took his last breath is where I took my first breath. So I'm very concerned about what's happening right now in my home state. I wanted to ask a few questions, and the thesis of what I have to say today is George Floyd is alive, prove me wrong. I'm an academic. I've studied rhetoric. There's an actual department of rhetoric to study how to use words and reality toward your own advantage. We've studied Hitler's rhetoric. I've studied all America's founding documents, going all the way to the Declaration of Independence and to President Trump's inaugural addresses. I even wrote a children's book on the president, and I have some things to say about what's happening right now in our country. I am part of the MAGA movement. There's a concerted effort to quash the MAGA movement, but that's not going to happen because there's a worldwide awakening and people around the world are waking up. I have so much to say about this. So George Floyd supposedly is being choked to death and he's crying out for his mom. We haven't heard anything about the mom. We haven't seen a family photo. We haven't seen any evidence of them together as a cohesive unit. Floyd might be a fake name for all we know. What I know for sure is that there is a Floyd's in South Minneapolis that's a hot spot, a gathering place for African Americans in that city, and it's a barbershop. So if I was going to murder the psyche of a people, I would give this guy a Floyd name. John Floyd, George Floyd. I could get you 10 George Floyds by the end of the day. You know how you do it? You lure in a homeless man, you give him some drugs laced with poison, and you kill him. So that's Exhibit A, George Floyd, okay? The person that has been booked now, the photo of this Chauvin officer, is not the same person in the video who is strangling him. There are cameras from around the world gathered right now in Minneapolis, and there was no video evidence of this guy being arrested. So we're supposed to believe that the person that's in jail right now is a person we see in the video. Black America, you all need to wake up and stop being so emotional. You need to stop crying, stop looting, stop burning, and start asking questions. There is no way that what we are seeing right now is a natural occurrence. Even in the video, you see behind the officer that the gas prices that are listed, those aren't coronavirus gas prices. Where I'm at, gas prices are, much cheaper than that. Okay, we see that the numbers on the police cars are changing. One car has one number. When the video changes angles, it's a different number. So what's happening here? We see that the officer's badge is all crooked, and he's not even really matching his colleague. They don't have the same police badge. So what is really going on here? If the cabal was able to present a body double for the Kennedy assassinations, who's to say that George Floyd isn't 10 10 different people at this point. Okay, the coroner is even saying that there's no sign of asphyxiation. So that tells me that he's probably examining a different body and not George Floyd. George Floyd.
Okay. I'm going to get you the link out immediately. You guys can watch it for yourself on BitChute only because it's...
well, you have a great weekend. Try not to work too hard and get out there and get some sunlight and some fresh air.
Yeah. Enjoy your weekend. And don't forget to pray and believe when you pray because we're believers. We love you. See you Monday.
Bye.
There by the dawn's early light, a little tired, a little tore up, still hurting from the fight. And then it hit me, you ain't gotta pick a side. You can love your fellow man and still have pride.
Welcome to Common Sense on Patriot Soapbox 24/7 live stream. Real news, Q posts, news analysis, guest interviews, and your live call-ins. Indie News at 3 to 5, Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy the show.
Cause the stars and stripes are so much more than that old piece of cloth on your grandma's porch. It gave us that American dream to be anything that we want to be. It don't matter where you are, from a one-room church to an uptown bar. Don't care if you're black or white or who you love. I stand for the flag, and the flag stands for all of us.
Hi, I'm Derek from The Common Sense Show. You can check out my website at indienews.org, and you can also contact me at indie_news1@protonmail.com.
Cause the stars and stripes mean so much more than that old piece of cloth on your grandma's porch. It gave us that American dream to be anything that we want to be. And it don't matter where you are, from a one-room church to an uptown bar. Don't care if you're black or white or who you love. I stand for the flag, and the flag damn sure stands for all of us.
Good afternoon or morning, Patriot Nation. This is the Common Sense Show, which is heard exclusively on Patriot Soapbox Network. I am Derek, and with me, as always, Monday, Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Patriotsky, Gloria Non. Fellas, it's Friday.
Howdy do.
Wow, I thought you'd be a little excited than that. Hey.
Well, I am. If I wasn't playing 5 or 6 different roles at the same time, I see I'm a chauffeur, I'm a cook, I'm a garbage man, I'm a daddy, I'm a mommy. Anyway, it's a straight around the household here today.
So you're a patriotsky of all trades,
sort of, kind of. Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Glory, how is your Friday going?
So far, so good. I do for a Patriot Caller Friday. I do have a new feature that if you go into Discord and you turn on your video camera, we'll be able to actually see you if you want.
Well, look at that. Hopefully we'll be able to I
haven't actually tested it on air yet.
Okay, well hopefully we'll at least be able to take a couple calls here. And I know we are so graciously being joined also on this Patriot